Hi everyone. I was reading the lesson for today in our Course in Miracles entitled God is the Light in Which I See. And for many of us, light, the light of truth, the light of your mind, has become a real experience as we transition from the idea of separation to the wholeness of what you are, right? Because it establishes itself within your mind, right? It's a literally experience of happiness, light, certainty within your own mind. It's not the light of the world. It's the light of truth. It's the light that happens when you give up your false beliefs and replace it with truth. And that's the light in which you can see because it's truth. In falsity, you cannot see anything. And as he so beautifully expresses it, these eyes don't see anything. You don't see with your eyes. They just look for what you want to see, right? What sees, what makes you see or able to see is your mind. That's all, right? So you don't see with your eyes, you see with your mind. And in a very real sense, he says you're blind, deaf, and dumb, right? You don't see anything, you hear what's not there, right? The human condition, the condition of separation, the condition of being contained in the self identity doesn't see anything because it stops at the outside of form that isn't even there. Huh? But beyond form, beyond the idea of separation, is an entirely new reality for you to see that reflects the light and the love of God and that reflects truth. And once you see that, you no longer wholly believe that any of this is true. So the lesson here is so beautiful. It says, you cannot see in darkness and you cannot make light. You can make darkness and then think you see in it, but light reflects life and is therefore an aspect of creation. Right? You can make darkness, look around you, right? That's what this world is. And you can think you see in it. You see people, and you see things, and you see events, and you think you're seeing anything. But the fact of the matter, he says, actually, you're not really seeing anything. That's evidence that you're not seeing anything at all, right? That's not seeing. Seeing is beyond that. Huh? In order to see, you must recognize that light is within, not without. I'm just picking out a couple of beautiful lines from this lesson, right? Light is within. It's within you. You have to go within and accept the correction there. It has nothing to do with what's out. What's out is a reflection of what's in. And unless you, right, are on that transformational, spiritual transformational program path, you're not seeing anything, right? First, you have to accept the correction which is here, and then light automatically establishes itself within your mind, and now you can see because that's the reference that allows you to see, if that makes any sense. You do not see outside yourself, nor is the equipment for seeing outside of you, right? There isn't anything to see out there. What you see out there is a reflection of what's in here, right? So look in here, that's what you see out there. An essential part of this equipment is the light that makes seeing possible. Only in light, God is the light in which I see, only light makes seeing possible. Otherwise, you're not seeing anything. It is with you always. I love that, right? Even when you came here, the light came with you from your native home. It's impossible to lose that because it's the essence of what you are. Now, if you become really dark, right, there may not be much light, but there's always a spark. It cannot be totally extinguished. Now, as you awaken, right, as you undergo your spiritual transformation, that light becomes really bright, right, and you become a bright and shining light. I love that. It says, it is with you always, making vision possible in every circumstance. Of course, because a circumstance has nothing to do with vision. Vision is just your decision to decide for truth and not to falsity. And then he comes, I love it because he goes to the mind training and he says, your mind is no longer wholly untrained. For those of you, right, practicing these mind training lessons, you're no longer wholly untrained, right? Love that. You're quite ready to learn the form of exercise that we'll use today, but you may find that you will encounter strong resistance. There is the training, right? Because these lessons are applicable in every circumstance. but it's often where you find the most resistance that you need to really, really practice them, because those are the points where you still hold on to your own illusions, right? They're being shown to you. It's like wherever you find your resistance, that's where the practice comes in. The reason is very simple. While you're practicing this way, you leave behind everything that you now believe. I love it. What is A Course in Miracles but an entirely shift in perception and belief of everything that you now hold dear as far as ideas, beliefs, and concepts is concerned? It's a total reversal of thought, from the thinking of the world to actual true thinking with the universe. And when you believe that for a moment, there's resistance. Your mind is trained to believe, right? To hold on to your beliefs and defend your beliefs. And this is what everyone in the world is doing. They defend their beliefs because the moment they don't, right, their whole self-identity, which is based on their beliefs, is falling apart. Now you don't know who you are. And now you have to rely on a different reference to be shown what you are. And once you're shown what you are, you'll remember what you are. Because what you are, of course, is what you are. It's what you always will be. I love reason, right? You can reason to this. This makes perfect sense if you let it be, right? To a whole mind, this makes perfect sense. But if you hold on to your old belief, to your old thought, none of this makes sense. Love it. It's a wholly unified thought system. This is what we were talking about before. So while you practice in this way, you leave behind everything that you now believe and all the thoughts that you've made up. Properly speaking, this is the release from hell. Right? Properly speaking, if you let go of your old thought system, it's the release from hell, because it's what hell is. All right? Yet, perceived through the ego's eyes, it's the loss of identity and the descent in hell, of course. It's everything is upside down, right? In your self-identity, the release of your belief system is what seems to be hell, because it's everything that you base your identity on, right? I'm so and I believe this and this, and I value this and this, and so on and so on. It's become what you, as you have defined yourself, right? So of course it's being seen as a loss. What a beautiful idea. And then he says, like, you go down, you just let your mind go. It knows automatically where to go. The practice in this particular lesson says, let it go. It knows where to go. And it says, your mind cannot be stopped in this unless you try to stop it. It is merely taking its natural course, right? The true nature of mind is wholly abstract. It is not specific. It's wholly abstract. What an amazing idea, right? It says here, while no particular approach is advocated for this form of exercise, what is needful is a sense of the importance of what you're doing. It's inestimable valuable to you, and an awareness that you're attempting something very holy. Salvation is your happiest accomplishment. It's also the only one that has any meaning, because it's the only one that is any real use to you. True, right? Like, as you awaken, you'll give your salvation, you'll give your awakening, you'll give your necessity to change your mind priority above everything else. Because you understand that that's the only thing that really matters. The undoing of what you thought you were, and in that, the allowance of what you are in truth, right, to become aware to you. It truly is just, and I refer to this all the time, it is a continual stepping back. Right? It is in continual practice, not to scribe on the world your own thoughts, but instead to withdraw your own ideas and thoughts and let it tell you about yourself. There's nothing easier than the spiritual transformation process, and at the same time, there's nothing harder for a mind that's determined to define what itself, right? As it is not. So, yeah, it's not hard, it's different. But because it is so different, your old habits still, right, from time to time pull you back to your, to old habits. And in that sense, yes, it does take a little practice. But rest assured, for those of us who practice this on a daily basis, we've noticed that the practice becomes easier and easier and easier, and you become happier and happier. And it's that happiness that you experience as a result of practice, even if you encounter resistance, that makes you want to go on and experience more. Because the world cannot give you this, right? The world is moments of fleeting and limited happiness, but never unlimited happiness coming from somewhere, all deep within you, that um, is without reason. It's what you are. Happiness is what you are. It's your natural inheritance, right? And it's available to you. And when that opens up in your mind and you experience that light and that happiness simply by being willing to be undone, by simply giving up all thought. I mean, what else do you need, right? It's what you've been looking for. It's what everyone here is looking for. His lost contact with source, his lost contact with reality, and is looking for ways in his own illusions to make him happy. But it's not possible because they're illusions, and illusions cannot satisfy what you are, right? So you got these illusions trying to make you happy. You get your job and your relations and your money and everything that's completely meaningless. And no matter how hard you try, you won't get happy. Until what? You allow yourself to awaken. You allow yourself to transform. Transform in what you are, because you are already that. It's already wholly available to you. It's impossible to lose that. What an amazing idea that these whole ideas give you everything that you've been looking for. There's nothing lacking in you, right? It's there. Everything that you need is already yours. You can just ask for it, right? And be willing to be undone. So that's my lesson for today. God is the light in which I see. It truly is that simple. It's for those of you who are, right, undergoing your spiritual awakening and who are practicing these ideas. All we do is we join for a moment in the recognition that there's only one of us, and the recognition that we're all undergoing the same process. Specifics differ, but they're just specifics, they're meaningless. But the overall experience we can relate to. And if you haven't, give it a try. What do you got to lose, right? Misery, right? Pain, right? All the stuff that the world bestows on you on a continuous basis, and it never stops until what? You change your mind. I love you. Have a great, great day wherever and whenever you are, and I'll see you out there.